This is the Dzogchen Sende Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. It is Qui-Gon Jinn Tuesday evening. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi. After chanting our opening recitation. Welcome to the discourse or sutta on enlightenment factors given to Arahant Kassapa, known in Pali as Bojjhanga, found in the Samyutta Nikaya or connected verses of the Buddha. I'm going to add the preposition here real quick, or the conjunction. Let's chant. Thus I have heard on one occasion the Blessed One was living in the city of Rajagaha, at the bamboo grove in the squirrel's feeding ground. At that time the venerable Mahakassapa, who was living in the Pipali cave, was afflicted with a disease, was suffering physically, and was gravely ill. Then the Blessed One, arising from this evening meditation, visited the venerable Mahakassapa and sat down on the seat made ready for him. Thus seated, the Blessed One spoke to the venerable Mahakassapa. Well, Kassapa, how is it with you? Are you varying up? Are you enduring your bodily suffering? Do your pains increase or decrease? Are there signs of your pain decreasing and not increasing? No, Bhante, O teacher, I am not bearing up. I am not enduring, and the pain is very great. There is a sign not of pains decreasing, but of increasing. To which the Buddha responded, these 7 enlightenment factors, Kassapa, are well expounded, cultivated, and fully developed by me. They lead to special knowledge, to realization of the noble truths, and to Nibbana. What are the 7? Mindfulness, enlightenment factor, Kassapa, is well expounded, cultivated, and fully developed by me. Mindfulness leads to special knowledge, to realization of the noble truths and Nibbana. We are wired to notice all mind's antics of perception. Sights, sounds, sensations, flavors, scents, and the like. As well as the full spectrum of human emotions, intentions, cognitions, recollections, and imaginings. All of them. From the external to the internal, from the physical to the mental, from the pleasurable to the painful, from the interesting to the boring, from the glorious to the grotesque. Together. Vulnerable investigation of phenomena, enlightened factor Kasampa, is well expounded, cultivated, and fully developed by me. Vulnerable investigation leads to special knowledge, to realization of the noble truths, and to Nibbana. The key, what is it that differentiates mindfulness from focus or concentration? Simple. Mindfulness is vulnerable, passive, visceral, random, and fleeting. So instead of noticing the world through a lens of self-protection, behaving as if we were our own press agent, we choose to notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly, which is profoundly subversive. Together. Energy, enlightenment factor Kasapa is well expounded, cultivated, and fully developed by me. Energy leads to special knowledge, to realization of the noble truths, and to Nibbana. The essence of the path. So the Buddha, the essence of proto-Buddhism is the Buddha's Eightfold Path of Enlightenment. Its dynamo are the seventh and eighth folds of mindfulness and meditation. The more we authentically play with mindfulness and meditation, the more we automatically master the sixth fold of the Buddha's path. It is known by many names, such as right effort, or effortless effort, or doing without doing, or wu wei, or going with the flow, or being in the zone. This is the energy that we need to practice. We cannot force it. It is a fringe benefit of noticing and relaxing in harmony with our breathing. Together. Love's joy, enlightenment factor Kasapa is well expounded, cultivated, and fully developed by me. Love's joy leads to special knowledge, to realization of the noble truths, and to Nibbana. Sturgeon's law reminds us that 90% of everything sucks, including humans, including meditation teachers. When we make the mistake of indulging our controlling tendencies to such a degree that we over-focus and over-analyze, thus exhausting both the dorsolateral and medial prefrontal cortices, we wind up triggering our amygdala, the seat of both anxiety and aggression, which is a drag. However, when we cooperate with our spinal cord, which functions as the core of our autonomic nervous system, not only do we calm both the anxiety and aggression of our amygdala, but we gently stimulate the anterior cingulate gyrus, which is the seat of empathy, love, and compassion. Perhaps that is why the late Tukul Thondup insisted that the highest love is the spontaneous and uncontrived byproduct of noticing and relaxing in harmony with our respective inhalations and exhalations. Simply by noticing and practicing this mindfulness and meditation authentically, we automatically access 50% of the Buddha's Eightfold Path, known as love. We bring our experience of the mental, the interpersonal, the physical, and the circumstantial into the path of love, into the path of kind intention, kind communication, kind conduct, and even kind commerce. How important is love? It comprises 50% of the Buddha's Eightfold Path of enlightenment. If you've just joined me, welcome aboard. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist meditation or philosophy, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window. For that's why I'm here. But my request is you give me only one question at a time, lest my head explode. Let's chant now. Inhalations, coalescence, enlightenment, factor, kasapa. And kasapa is just a proper noun, it's a person's name. Is well expounded, cultivated, and fully developed by me. Inhalations, coalescence lead to special knowledge, to realization of the noble truths and nibbana. So, every time we inhale, air coalesces in our lungs. Every time we inhale, information coalesces in our mind. Because every time we inhale, we automatically access the middle bit of our spinal cord, which functions as the core of our sympathetic nervous system, which has evolved to notice mind's antics of perception, emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination. All of them, from the external to the internal, from the physical to the mental, from the pleasurable to the painful, from the interesting to the boring, from the glorious to the grotesque. Please chant with me. Exhalations, tranquility, enlightenment, factor, kasapa, is well expounded, cultivated, and fully developed by me. Exhalations, tranquility leads to special knowledge, to realization of the noble truths and to nibbana. The more we authentically practice mindfulness and meditation, the more we spontaneously and automatically understand impermanence, no self, and emptiness. How does that work? Every time we exhale, we are wired to automatically access, every time we exhale, we're wired to automatically access both the tippy top as well as the very bottom of our spinal cord. When these two regions work together as a team, they are known as the core of our parasympathetic nervous system. They have evolved to help us to physically relax and mentally release during each exhalation to such a degree that that which we noticed during our previous inhalation could fleetingly feel less stressful, less permanent, and less defining, and even as non-graspable as a vast empty void. So we come across the idea of emptiness, and we see it's used in a simile, which is a figure of speech. A simile is only as effective as it is relatable. So we have to ask the question, what? What is a real-world example of a non-graspable vast empty void? Imagine it's summer. It's the morning. We lay a nice thick blanket on the lawn, and we lie on our back, gazing at the illusion of the infinite azure sky, and we reach forward with hands splayed. We grasp and pull our hands to us, but when we open our fists, we don't see any blue, because the sky is appearing yet literally non-graspable. It is a wonderful example of that which can be perceived yet not grasped. So that's all emptiness is, a metaphor, a figure of speech to help us to understand the experience of non-graspability latent within each exhalation. So what about no self? No self is also a figure of speech. As we relax into our exhalation, whatever sense of self, whatever label we noticed during our previous inhalation could fleetingly feel less stressful, less permanent, less defining, and also as non-graspable as a vast empty void. So we can perceive and we can experience self as we breathe in, and we experience absence of self as we breathe out. Until, of course, the next inhalation, when the cycle begins afresh. Please chant with me. Remedial equanimity or balance, enlightenment factor kasapa is well expounded, cultivated, and fully developed by me. Remedial equanimity or balance leads to special knowledge, to realization of the noble truths, and to nibbana. Consider, if you will, the fundamental duality of dread and desire. Equanimity says the remedy is the same. Whenever we experience a dread, we notice it and we relax. Whenever we experience a desire, we notice it and we relax. Whenever we experience something neutral, we notice it and relax. The path is remarkably simple. How simple? The Buddha taught that one could master this path in as little as 7 days. Please chant with me. The 7 enlightenment factors kasapa are well expounded, cultivated, and fully developed by me. The 7 enlightenment factors lead to special knowledge, to realization of the noble truths, and to nibbana. To which Kasapa responded, most surely, O Blessed One, they are the factors of enlightenment. Most surely, O Sublime One, they are the factors of enlightenment. The Blessed One taught this discourse, and the Venerable Mahakassapa, glad at heart, rejoice in the Blessed One's explanation. Thereupon the Venerable Mahakassapa recovered from that disease, and that disease of the Venerable Mahakassapa instantly disappeared. Having completed our opening recitation, we could now shift gears. For the remainder of this evening's live stream, for the next 35 or so minutes, let us sit as sustainably as we can. For the first half, for the first 24 minutes or so, we could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to coalesce at our crown. We're going to use two methods to do that. First, we're going to adjust our respiratory frame of reference. How do we do that? Every time we feel air enter our nostrils, we can silently and mentally recite the verb noticing. Every time we feel air exit our nostrils, we can silently and mentally recite the verb relaxing. Our silent and mental recitation of these two verbs do not force our autonomic nervous system to notice and relax. It does it anyway, running in the background like an app on our smartphone. Then why do we silently and mentally recite these verbs? To remind our will, to remind our volition, to remind our intention, to take a relaxing break from the exhausting habit of actively competing against our natural tendencies to notice and relax, and instead to spend at least a few minutes passively cooperating with them. The second method, I feel very silly because I didn't push the right button. Let me push the right button this time, and we'll try that again. So as we feel air enter our nostrils, we can silently and mentally recite the verb noticing. And as we feel air exit our nostrils, we can silently and mentally recite the verb relaxing. The second method involves playing with our fingers. The fancy word for that is mudra. Let us begin by using the index finger of our left hand to support the first knuckle or the lower knuckle of our right index finger, palms up in our lap. Doing this also helps us to keep track of our first collection of 12 sets of 12 inhalations. In addition to, let's consider our left hand. In addition to using its index finger to support our right hand, we can use our left thumb in a very special way. We can place that left thumb on the lower set of creases of its little finger, thus keeping track of our first of 12 sets, our first set of 12 inhalations. Where do we count the inhalations? On our right hand. Every time we silently and mentally recite the verb noticing during our inhalation, we can advance our right thumb across the sets of creases found on the underside of our hand. Let us do this together right now. Now, of course, ergonomically, it's most sound to keep your hands in your lap. I'm just raising mine to make it easier for you to follow along. Having come to the final set of creases on my right hand, I now return to my left hand and advance the left thumb to the next set of creases. And now we get the basic idea of how we can count 12 sets of 12 inhalations each. Doing so takes approximately 12 minutes. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist meditation or philosophy, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window, for I tend to check for questions about every 6 minutes or so. We can use the tip, we can touch the tip of our left index finger to the second knuckle of our right index finger, palms up in our lap, to help us keep track of our second collection of 12 sets of 12 inhalations. As we breathe in, let us notice the antics of mind, vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly. As we exhale, let us relax into mind's non-graspable nature. Checking for questions. Let's continue. So let's switch gears now to gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to coalesce in our chest. Each time we feel our chest swell with breath, we could silently and mentally recite the verb noticing. Every time we feel our chest subtly sink as gently we exhale, we could silently and mentally recite the verb relaxing. We could use the tip of our left middle finger to support the lower knuckle of our right middle finger, palms up in our lap. You have taken your first step into a much larger world. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. For Meditate Like a Jedi is made possible thanks to the generosity of viewers, just like you. In approximately 11 hours, I would very much like to return to lead tomorrow's dawn explanation and practice of meditating like a Jedi. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.